Hi guys, welcome back to the next drive and welcome to the BMW G61 530E M Sport Pro Touring XB1. Not sure what the XB1 is, but I'm sure BMW people will tell me exactly what it is in the comments. Okay, this isn't a new car, and sometimes on the next drive we get cars that have been around for a few months, maybe even a year. This one is a 25 plate, so it's definitely been around for over a year. And because of that, this will be a pretty quick review. I'm assuming you're looking at this version because you're thinking, oh, there's new BMWs on the way and I could save myself some money. I think you could as well, although this one is quite expensive. Anyway, I've been driving it for a week now and I thought let's give you 5 things to talk about. 5 things for me to talk about. The ride and the performance, that's 1. Design, practicality, who it's for, and how much it costs. It does that BMW noise because this is a plug-in hybrid. It has a 2-litre engine. EV range is about 58 miles-ish. In fact, that's pretty much bang on. I've been testing it for the last week, like I say, and once plugged in, it does read about 58 miles, and it seems to get about that, which is nice. In terms of the ride, why does this always happen? When I try and do these quick videos, I just get stuck in traffic immediately. Okay, we're away. Now this one is a little bit stiff because it has sports suspension and all that sort of stuff, but even with that, it's still comfortable. I've been all over the place in this car, on motorways, back roads, town streets and things like this, and it's just a lovely, lovely car to drive. Potholes, no problem whatsoever. Rough roads, of which there are quite a few in Warwickshire, where I live. Again, no issues. Now, performance-wise, I'm going to give it a bit of a test now because I need to pull out of this junction safely, but relatively quickly. No one's going to let me out, obviously, because that just doesn't happen in the UK, but okay, pull out quickly. EV, 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 electric, battery, battery, battery. Oh, there's the engine. First thing to say about that, and I appreciate I'm jumping around a little bit here, but welcome to the next drive. I got used to the plug-in hybrid Range Rover, the autobiography version that I reviewed a few months ago, which was the best car I've ever driven. Just the best car ever. And equally, obviously, the best hybrid car I've ever driven by default. And the reason for that was because it was so good on the EV side of things. It just did not kick in the engine if it didn't need to. It didn't bother you with that whatsoever. This seems to be a little bit more engine hungry. It seems to want to use the engine more than I want it to use the engine, if that makes sense. So back then, fair enough. Although the battery power, you know, the motors have got enough grunt to get me out of that junction quickly and give me enough oomph to get down the road, so it didn't really need it. Okay, I've only got 15 miles in the battery at the moment, but it's done that even with the battery full. You know, with the full 58 miles in the tank, it's still done that thing where it's kicked the engine in, and it's not jarring. That's one thing. You don't get a kind of a jolt, but you do hear it. Like any 2-cylinder engine these days, it doesn't sound particularly exciting, and it's just a bit, oh, okay. And also, you lose the Hans Zimmer sound effect that you get with BMW EVs. That kind of, you probably can't hear it on this mic, but it's that kind of space age futuristic, it basically disappears and you get the engine sound instead, which is just a bit uninspiring. Anyway, back to the handling and going around this roundabout now. This isn't the biggest test for it, but some amazing driving happening in front of me as well. Brilliant. But again, it's comfortable, even though it has the sport suspension. This is the M Sport version. You know, I've got an M on the steering wheel here. Well, this is where it comes alive. So now I hit the back roads, I put my foot down, again, the engine has kicked in, and oh, it's nice. It's just a really assured car. It's very confident. It's a big car. I'll come on to that in a second. But even that being the case, it's just round these roads, these lovely chicane here. Quite a long chicane, but it just feels great. It feels so good. Gives you the confidence to put your foot down. And in terms of putting your foot down, I'm driving not in sport or anything at the moment. I'm purely in the normal mode. If I just come through this little chicane here, be careful, floor it. It's a bit slow on the uptake. Again, it goes from being an EV to being a petrol petrol powered car. I've got paddles, I can change gear if I want to manually. I can put it into sport if I want to as well. I'm not going to do that because do you need to? Not really. Maybe you do. I'm driving this in dad mode because dads, mums, parents basically, they'll be the ones buying this car, I think. Again, let's pull out quickly from here. EV, engine. Takes a bit of getting used to. Partly, I think, because we've got an iX1 at home. We've got a BMW full EV iX1, and that has just obviously battery power, so you get used to that wave of torque and power that comes out of absolutely nowhere instantly. This has a bit of that. It has a flavour of that, but then we're back in engine territory, which has its own benefits again, but it's an acquired taste. Right, let's find somewhere to pull up and show you around this car. The first thing to note is that this is one of the longest cars I've ever driven, ever had in my possession. It takes ages to walk past it, look. Still going, still going, still going. It's huge, which means parking it in any of the UK's very small car parking spots or multi-storey car parks, which are terribly designed in this country, by the way. They're not made for big cars like this. Is a bit of a pain, to be honest, because it's just so long. Look at it, it goes on forever. I'm a bit of a BMW fanboy, always have been. I was an M2 owner for quite a while. This is just a purposeful estate car. If you want the utility this gives you, which I'll come on to in a second, but you don't want to feel like you've given up on life, it does the job very, very well. I do like this generation. The grille, not too big. The wheels on this one are very nice. They have the M design stuff on here as well. How big are they? They are a 20-inch and they look the part. I would spec big wheels on this just because it's a big car. Practicality, that was my third thing. Check out the boot. It is predictably massive. Huge amount of space here. Loads of space. Excuse the sun. The sun's terrible today. It's beautiful, but it's hard to film stuff. But anyway, beautiful big boot. Seats go down to make a, let's be honest, hearse-sized space in the back. So transporting stuff to the tip, recycling centre, putting dogs in there, multiple dogs. You could get a lot of dogs in here. Happy days. Because it's a family car, we have ample space and connectivity for a child seat. In terms of rear seating space, loads. I'm about 5'8", 5'9". Loads of space here for my legs. Loads of height here for tall people. It's a very nice place to sit around here, I must admit. White interior. If you've got kids, don't spec that at all, but it looks nice if you don't have kids. Huge panoramic, not a sunroof, which lets in so much light, which is why it's so hard to film today when it's so beautifully sunny. But the offset of that, if you're not a YouTuber, is that it's just lovely and airy and light and fantastic in here. So loads of space in the back. In terms of the design of the interior, it's got the, I'm not sure what you call this stuff here, but it is plastic, but it lights up. It's the kind of M5 stylish design in here. We have these, which I think it's plastic. Regardless, it doesn't look plasticky. It looks very nice. The center console, loads of buttons still. Thank you, BMW. All of the heater controls are these kind of touch sensitive things, but they do work. They're very responsive. It's a nice cabin. The display is huge. It's a bit too wide for CarPlay. CarPlay is a bit stretched on here. Whether or not that's BMW's fault or just the way, the way CarPlay works, who knows? So I like that interior. 530E badge there. There's no M branding on it, I don't think. It's not there. Into the driver's seat, we hit the start button, does some stuff. We have a great big curved well, it's not a curve, but it is, the whole thing is curved, but it ends here with our display for the driver. There is a heads-up display, which you probably can't see, but it's one of the best heads-up displays I've seen. Very big, nice and bright without being too distracting, as it shouldn't be. The steering wheel, we have a flat bottom, which I like. We have the M badge, which I mentioned earlier. Plenty of buttons. The boost button, which feels a little bit redundant in a car that isn't actually a full-on EV. It's handy sometimes just to get yourself out of trouble. It's really nice. Okay, so we've done ride and performance, we've done design, we've done practicality. There's two more things to talk about. The first one is, who is this for? This, guys, is where I have to get real, because it's for people who don't want to admit that they need a practical car, but they like cars, they like BMWs, they like the whole M Sport thing, they like the idea of having a nice looking car, but they do need to do those tip runs, and they have kids, they have dogs. Their life basically has been taken over by things which they love dearly and they would not be without, and it's changed their lives for the better. But it does mean that those golf club visits and certain other things that you used to do when life wasn't quite so full, it's for that sort of person. Am I talking about myself? I don't play golf. The more I drive cars like this and certain SUVs and certain sporty inspired cars which are clearly made for families basically, the more I realise that they're a very good thing. This car is a very good thing for the right person, and that might be you, may not be you, but if it is you, I think this 530E is a fantastic example of that kind of vehicle. The other thing this car has in its favour is the plug-in hybrid nature. And if we put to one side the performance of it and the fact that, yeah, I do wish it wasn't quite so engine hungry, it does have everything that a plug-in hybrid should have. And by that, I mean it has the convenience of petrol. So if you're going on a long run, if you're going on a holiday down to Cornwall, for instance, you can take this car and not worry about charging it because you don't need to. You can just stick petrol in it, happy days. It's a 2-litre engine. It's not too bad on fuel, to be honest. It's pretty good. You have the other convenience, the kind of opposite convenience of electric power. And that means you can plug it in every night, get those 58 miles. And if tomorrow, for instance, you're just driving around town, or you're going to Tesco's, or you're doing that tip run or the nursery run, whatever it is, you probably won't touch much, if any, petrol at all. If you're not too heavy with your right foot, you will get to that destination and back without touching petrol. And this makes a massive difference. I had no idea until I started reviewing plug-in hybrids how important that is. The one thing to note with this, and I always have this as a disclaimer, is the fact that to make this work sensibly, you do need a charger at home. If you haven't got a charger at home, then you'll run out of EV juice. So you need to factor in the cost of that. That's the kind of person it's for. If all that makes sense to you, then this is a fantastic buy. But we do need to talk about the price. One thing I did forget to mention is, even though this is a very long car, we do have rear wheel steering, which makes a huge difference. If you've never driven a big car with rear wheel steering, which is very hard to say, you're missing out. It makes it so much easier to maneuver. The base price for the BMW G61 530E M Sport Pro Touring XB1 is £63,800 in the UK. The total price for this one is £74,557.51, including VAT. Now those extras, which are just under 10 grand, they include the adaptive suspension, which is 2.5 grand, that panoramic panoramic glass sunroof, which is 1,600 quid, the technology pack, which is interior camera, parking assist, heads-up display, 2 grand. Comfort pack, heated steering wheel, which is very nice. Comfort access, which is when you walk up to it and it just opens for you, 1,200 quid. Tow bar, 1,200 quid. Sounds like a lot for a tow bar, doesn't it? The Tanzanite Blue 2 metallic paint, which I wouldn't choose myself, but it's there. That's just over £1 grand. And those 20-inch bi-colour alloy wheels are £500, which seems okay in the great scheme of things. It's quite a lot of money, isn't it? Although 75 grand, I mean, if you're watching this, you might be looking at this as a second-hand car, in which case you'll pay a fair bit less than that. And if you can get a decent deal on one of these 530Es, I think it's worth going for. I think you're getting a bit of a bargain there. Some other specs for you. The 0 to 62 miles an hour time is 6.4 seconds, which is absolutely fine for this sort of car. 220 kilowatt power, 299 PS that is, and 450 Newton meters of torque. What more can I say really, apart from the fact that if you can find a good deal for this 530E, with so many other BMWs coming on the market soon, the whole new class thing and all that stuff, these might fall into bargain territory, I think. And the fact that it has that hybrid convenience, the plug-in hybrid convenience, makes a big difference. Guys, as always, it's over to you. Let me know what you think about this car in the comments. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, you know what to do. I'm off to the tip. See you later.